There you go. You're recording.
Okay, we're recording.
All right,
I'm sorry
it's
for doing that.
5:02, we'll bring this meeting to order, and we'll start with
Thank you.
privilege of the floor. I don't see anyone to take advantage of privilege of the floor, so we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from January 16th. Are there any comments on the minutes?
No, I had no
I went through
comments
them
or
and I did
changes.
not
No
see
comments
anything
either.
All right, so is there a motion?
Wow.
I will make a motion to
job.
approve them as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Financial update.
Okay, go ahead.
I had a question on the financial update,
All right.
which was just, it was general overhead,
Yeah.
where we had 3,300 in there, and we expended 1,778 in January.
1778. Oh, we paid the merit pay that were the end
Okay.
of 16
Okay.
were paid out of that.
That makes sense.
Okay.
All right. And insurance is always high because we hit with it.
Yeah, we have to pay the entire property liability amount.
And permits, on the income side, permit fees and registrations, that is commercial vehicles are due in January.
No, permit fees, that is delinquent tax accounts, that's the interest on those.
Wait a minute.
And some small permits. Motor vehicles is where the car registrations are.
No, I've got you, but permits, fees, and interest.
Yes.
So we got delinquent payments in?
Yes,
So-
we're getting delinquent payments in.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
All right. Good. Anybody else have any questions on the financials?
No.
All right. And we will move on. We will do department heads. Public safety, you guys want to go first? Sure. Well, Brooke wasn't here, so. For the record.
For the record.
We're ready for
When you're tardy, you're tardy.
Special Olympics.
Yep.
And
When is that?
When is that?
first weekend in March, it's the first Sunday in March,
Okay.
Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday. I think it's 6th and 7th or something like that.
The very end of New Hampshire week.
Yeah.
Is when it starts.
They're all excited to be here. We've been working on trying to stay dug out of the snow and the ice, and got more coming tomorrow, but that's a.
More coming tomorrow, more coming on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a challenge with hydrants and stuff, especially when it's wet like this. It's going to freeze tomorrow, so we'll be out there with the axe on Friday, chipping away hydrants. Parking's starting to be a little crowded because of the snow. So fire lanes, all that stuff we're looking at. Other than that, it's
Good number of calls last weekend, right? You had a big weekend last weekend with calls to the mountain. I mean, bigger than we have had over the last couple of
yeah.
weeks.
Wasn't overwhelming, but it's 5 or 6 calls up there.
Okay.
Nothing real serious.
Okay.
While we're with.
Fire yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on Facebook. What was that over at the Streets place?
Yeah, it was. He thought he had a chimney fire. We got there, and there was no chimney fire. We think if there was one, it put itself out.
Right. And you're able to navigate, there are no places that are blocking, you seeing any kind of issues with getting trucks around?
We do, but we address it and people take care of it. So there's a few places that I caught today, and Friday's going to be the focus on that after tomorrow's storm. It's hard to get somebody on the ball in the middle of the storm.
Yeah.
So we'll wait until it stops on Friday and then get them all up and check it out.
Okay. I'll just put this on silent. All right. While we have public safety, do we want to talk quickly about the grant for public safety gear? So
Sure.
we let these guys go.
There's an opportunity for a warm zone in the EMS equipment grant. What that, the state's offering a grant for each municipality. It's an open application period right now for EMS is, your active, excuse me, your active shooter situations. The state's come out with best practices and protocols for, actually EMS. What they've proven in these situations is that, they can save more lives the sooner that EMS people can get into these places and treat injured people. And in order to do that, you need equipment to do that. And that's what this grant is for. It's,
And what's the nature of the grant? Is it?
It's a $6,000, up to $6,000, and it's a reimbursement grant. So we can expend up to $6,000, and then they'll reimburse
100%.
100%.
Okay, all right.
Is
Now-
this for go bags?
Yep.
Yeah.
A go
That
bag
includes
and
that,
protective
and
equipment.
it's,
Vest?
Yep,
Yeah.
and it's a regional application too.
What's a go bag?
It has medical equipment in it
Yeah.
that they would need.
airways,
Yeah.
bleeding,
Yeah.
tourniquets,
Tourniquets,
that sort of thing.
But this isn't gonna require us to re-outfit our equipment to accommodate our gift? Okay.
No, it's equipment that we don't have or is not specifically for this.
And some of this equipment, you talked about vests, does that mean that you would save us some money on replacing vests because they would?
It's not the kind of vest that we wear.
Okay.
It's there
All right,
over the top, and they'll say EMS on
all right. Do we have a problem with them applying for the grant, anybody?
I don't think so.
Not as long as we're not expending, significant amount of town funds to have to supplement it.
Yeah, that's the question.
it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
equipment we don't currently own.
So the way that I'd like to do that, if you would vote to give them authority to apply for the grant, and then we won't receive the grant until after town meeting, so I'm not gonna put it in the budget, but you can hold a hearing to accept the grant if we're successful.
Great. Would
And that'll be
someone-
after town
Someone
meeting.
like to make that motion?
So, if we don't put it in the budget though, on both sides, how are you gonna spend the money?
You're gonna, you have authority by state law to
To accept the
accept
grant.
grant money specifically
Oh, and
that's
then allocate
received,
it only for
and
that
then
item?
allocate it
Right.
just for that purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I'll make a motion to authorize the Public Safety Department to apply for, what is this called?
Warm zone and
A
the.
warm zone grant.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. All right.
Thank you.
Brooke, anything else from you guys? Everybody's happy? Everyone's doing this? Great. Anyway, is Ian going to the academy for us, or is he going? Did I hear something?
That's on hold for a while.
Okay. All right. Great. Brooke, enlighten us.
Yeah, things are pretty busy here around the rec. Pickleball, novice pickleball is really taking off. We're offering that on Wednesdays now. We have a full group coming into that. These are the people that are kind of the product of our pickleball 101 class. It's a totally different group than what we already have going. Got a great group photo of them today on Facebook if you want
I
to
saw
check
it.
that out. I also put the feelers out and announced that we're accepting applications for employment. So I've already had some bites on that, so that's good. Trying to get that out going a little bit earlier this year. Just planning for February vacation week.
Which starts when?
That starts, mass vacation week starts February 20th, but really the 18th, it's Saturday
Okay.
before.
that's Saturday.
So we have, just 12 days of programming during those 2 weeks. And that's about it.
Great.
Okay.
Any new programs coming up for spring? The school thing paying off?
The school thing.
Meaning that are you getting, enough participation from
Yeah,
the
the
schools?
after
to the
school
after-school
program is
Plenty.
still hanging in there.
Yeah, it's doing great. I just actually pulled the numbers, this year versus last year, and we're well ahead of last year about, we're well ahead of last year, and that's due to the after-school program primarily.
Great.
So it's really been active, and we moved it from 4 days to 5 days. I don't know if I let you know that, but we shortened it so that we could get more people coming on those 4 days.
Right.
And there was so much demand that we brought it back to 5 days.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? All set with that? All right, Jim.
Well, as you're aware, another storm, more coming, so it's pretty much out of the way.
Yeah.
Co-op has been up and has checked out the lights that were marked out for them, the street lights that were marked out for them. They've started working on those, and I am told that they will get to each and every one of them as they can.
Okay.
So that process has started. The solar lights, we pretty much have those figured out. There's nothing wrong with them, it's just they go into a, we could never make it do what people say it's doing. They always work for us.
The solar ones.
The solar ones. So we tried, we checked the batteries out, the batteries are fully charged. Then we went out of motion detector mode and we went into just having them on, and they work that way. Everything seems to be fine. We called the company and they seem to think everything is fine. The only thing that we can figure is that the battery life is 5 years. These are 4 years old. So there's a built-in feature on those lights to save battery power. If a car goes by, the lights will go on, and then they'll go back out if there's no other motion detected. And then the next car might go by and the lights won't go on because it's in power saving mode. So the way we figure it is that the batteries, even though they fully charge, are weak enough that they run down quickly. So I think the light's going into power saving mode intermittently, and I think if we swap the batteries out, they should be.
Do you know what kind of batteries they are?
I don't know,
Okay.
to tell you the truth. Bill knows, because he's the one that's been.
But that's what they're recommending?
Yes, we have to get those obviously from the light pole company.
Yeah.
But the lifespan is 4 to 5 years, so.
And this is a problem that's crept up in the last year, or been
Mhm.
reported problem?
They've been
over the
working
entire life of
properly.
the lights?
They've been working properly.
They've been working properly. so-
So, with discussions with the company that we bought them from, they feel that if we swap the batteries out, we should be right back to
And
normal.
what's the cost of the battery?
Don't know yet, I'll know tomorrow.
That's right.
Yep, and, can't tell you much else.
All right. Then we will move on. Calendar review. Anybody going anywhere?
Not right now.
Planning board is tomorrow morning, and our next meeting is the 22nd, is what it's scheduled for.
Yep. All right.
22nd, no. Well, it's gonna be problematic. I have, all of my grandkids are here for ski week, Mass Ski Week. But I should be able to get out for some of it anyway.
You probably want to get out for something.
I do, but it puts then Sandy's gotta go get them. Little devils. I'll let you know.
Yep. What I'd also like to do for that meeting on the 22nd is make sure we publicize it to all property owners who are gonna be here that week. And,
Yep.
and maybe hold that meeting here,
Sure.
just so we can try
Are
to,
you-
we've been having these.
22nd,
wanna hold it
Wednesday
later?
at 3.
Well,
We could do that.
If you do it at 5
Yeah,
instead of
my-
3, you'd have a much better chance of
Yeah.
getting
She's
someone
got
to come.
programming in here.
That's, I will check to say yes or no, but that, with Massachusetts vacation, we're really crowded in here. So it would be
based on,
3 o'clock?
Well, I think if we were gonna do it, you'd have to do it later.
Yeah.
I mean, because you wouldn't have, you're not gonna get many of those people to come at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Would-
Right, but I think the idea of making
Would-
it at 5.
Would
5
5 or
would be
6
all right.
work better?
I'll check and let you know.
Okay.
Check our calendar.
and if not, I think we should just have it at town hall, because
Right.
we've never had that many people show up.
No,
you
no,
know.
I mean, it's not,
I think we can
we
accommodate.
got 2, that'd be a huge
Oh,
success.
one was my wife last time.
I remember that now, yeah.
The other one was
And I
Brenton.
think she said, I'm here because Mike told me to.
But I remember when, before I lived here full-time, Kevin Moore's here, they would have them. And they would have them, and there'd be a reasonably good crowd.
Yeah.
Did he hand out free beer?
Not to me. I was,
That's the problem with having it at 5 o'clock too.
Yeah,
It's
right.
happy hour.
But on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, yep.
This room would be available on Wednesday night, after 5.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Why don't we
So we'll
move
do
it to
it here.
5 and let's do some mass marketing
Yeah.
and let Jen's blog know about it.
Yeah,
well, we will have open gym going on till 6 and
Yeah.
then dodgeball at 6:30.
no,
So
that's fine. Maybe
Maybe
people will
someone will
stop.
just stumble in because they think there's a buffet or something. All right, great.
Okay.
All right, so we're moving on. Now we will go to the review of the 2016 audit results.
Yep, so the packet included the opinion letter and balance sheet. All 3 of these pages will be included in the annual report also. But I just wanted to briefly go over some of the numbers with you. Under assets, the big thing to note is that we have 139,000 in the second column, WV Capital Improvements Fund. That's the account that we're using for the rural development project. We have $139,300 in the bank. $121,011 had been submitted to rural development for reimbursement by the grant, and we've received that money now. So we will, when that deposit is recorded, we'll have the $260,300 in that account. $233,442 under the general fund column belongs to the general fund. So that's the seed money that we put into the capital fund. That gives us the balance of, if you go down to the bottom, ongoing capital projects has a balance in the capital improvements of $26,871. That is the balance right now of all of the bond issues and everything that we did prior to 2010. That's what's left of those that are related to water and sewer. So we can use that money for water and sewer improvements but right now that's our contingency for the rest of the project. Under the general fund, the accounts payable are what we owe, or what we owed at 12/31/16. The interfund or intergovernmental payable number of 606,000 is money that we owe the school district from January 1st to June 30th. That's the balance of that. He has an allowance in there of $75,000 for unpayable property taxes. Those get paid when a property sells, but he reserves that amount in case something happens and somebody defaults. Our open purchase orders, I'll talk about, it's actually on this sheet that's in your packet of the capital accounts. If you total up the encumbered balance lines, they come to $176,399. And then the $943,418 is the unassigned undesignated fund balance, or that's the surplus number. And so that goes back to the fund balance use sheet that I've been showing you. That means that we returned $164,000 this year, $164,335. Any questions on the balance sheet?
No, I do have a question on the report, the letter that the Mercia Group wrote.
Yes.
And basically, in there they say, we provided the financial statements, but in our opinion, we didn't provide a management letter. And
We did not.
typically it is provided. Do we normally provide a management level or not? Or-
We will give him your selectmen's report, and that will constitute the management letter.
Okay,
He needs something that analyzes what we accomplished during 2016.
right.
And what we are budgeting for 2017.
Gotcha.
So we will provide that to you.
So that's what we normally
That's what
use
we
as the
normally do.
management letter?
Yes.
That's
I mean,
fine.
the,
Okay.
an official big government management letter is in a lot more
Oh,
detail,
I
but
know.
we're providing
Yeah.
the information that he wants.
Okay.
You also will be receiving an email from Paul with some questions that he normally sends you every year. So just, that should be coming in the next week.
Right, okay. Those conflict of interest types of
Yeah,
things?
conflict of interest and whether or not you're satisfied with how we're running the town. If you are suspicious of any fraud or anything like that.
Do we get this every year?
You get it every year.
I don't think I've ever gotten one.
Oh,
I have gotten
Yeah,
these.
you
I
can.
can't remember whether I got them from the hospital or I got them from the town, but I know I've gotten them.
Huh? I think you guys get it too, because he also asks you, the department heads, about me and all that. So you will get one also. Treasurer
Well,
gets
that's
one.
what- That's what they're,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
what they're
yeah.
interested in. Did we notice anything that appears to be unusual?
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have, Mike, unless there are questions.
Any other questions on this? I went over this with Mark this afternoon, that's why I didn't have any questions.
No, fine.
All right, great, so we can go and let's look at our capital account encumbrances.
Okay, that's this sheet, looks like this. So this is the same sheet that we do every year. We have the balances of 12/31/16, which track with Paul's audit review. I'm recommending that you close 4 of the accounts, and they're noted on the sheet,
Right.
and that we keep the 11 open and encumbered to 2017.
Now, do we need a motion for each account?
No, not for each account. If you want to just do it by this sheet, you can do that. Underneath the restricted for special purpose and the capital reserve accounts, you don't have to do any, take any action.
Mark, I know it isn't very much money on those accounts that we're closing, but what happens to that?
It
money?
goes to fund balance.
Okay.
And in fact, the 943,000 number on the balance sheet
Includes that already?
includes that already.
Okay, well, if no one has any questions, I'll make a motion to close the 4 accounts on this sheet.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Okay.
And do we have
And
to
are you
approve?
do you want to make a motion just to make it official to encumber the other accounts
Sure.
that are shown?
I will also make the motion to encumber the other accounts on that sheet through 2017.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're on to FY 2017 and annual meeting preparation.
Yep, so we have in your packet the first draft of the town meeting warrant. There were a couple of typos that I've already corrected, and I think Margaret might have identified one of them or 2 of them. You told Sharon that you
Yeah,
had one.
yeah, in Article
There were,
8,
yep,
where it
Article
said
8.
the solid waste contained, that would be a solid waste container,
container.
right?
Yep,
They used to be rented.
Yep. yep.
Are all of these, they're gonna be on the written ballot?
They will be on the
correct?
written ballot.
And are
The-
all of these more or less cleanup from the planning?
Yeah, we
Bill.
need none of these change the intent of the zoning law. All these are is cosmetic things to get them so nobody can make a legal challenge based on some misuse of wording.
That's correct.
We should put together a sheet, I think, for voters that basically says on Articles 2 for 9, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one's going to read or
Yeah.
understand these, and we highly recommend that you vote yes on all of these to clarify the language that's in the existing zoning ordinance that it in no way changes the intent.
Yeah, if you could talk about that at the planning board meeting, we'll
Okay.
draft something up.
Yeah, right, we'll.
Because
talk
I
about
talked to
that
Terry
tomorrow.
about it, Bill, and he said, yeah, we can do a sheet like that, but
Yeah.
even people won't even understand that, so,
Well, yeah,
you know,
but
so
this,
just
they're
talk
gonna
to
be
him
really
about it.
confused with.
Yeah, no, I
and,
understand.
You know, you're asking them to vote 9 times on what? You
well,
know, 8
I
times.
participated in the conversation and I
Right.
get confused,
Okay.
so. But yeah, none of these are big things, and they are gonna be the written ballot, so we have to distribute that sheet of paper somehow prior to, because you can't have it at the polls
Right.
that day.
Well, let's keep going on.
Okay.
So that was my first, now, Article 11,
Yep,
the 120,000. To clarify, the way this is written right now, it talks about designing and installing road and trail signs.
mhm.
I thought this was, some of this money was going to actually be used to construct some trails, or is it just signs?
I have the budget breakdown. It's primarily signage. There is some work on the trails that will be done along with this.
So it's no
But
new
the-
trails.
There's no new trails.
And the
And-
Mountain all had volunteered to do a lot of this work.
That's right. And, well, they're volunteering to do the upgrades or helping us with the upgrades on the trail. The money, the $120,000 is for signage. It's the entrance sign. There are 6 different wayfinding signs where we put the businesses, remember, with the arrows and all of that. And then there are 11 trail signs that are basically between Snows Brook Road and Valley Road along the old fitness trail area and around Corcoran's Pond that help people get to different locations.
Are all these signs on public land, public property, rights of way property?
They are either on town-owned land or we have an easement with the Waterville Company.
We're asking people to vote on this without seeing what they look like?
No,
There are going to be
we
some
have
demos. There are
pictures.
going to be
We-
some
There are?
We have the
examples
signs,
of what we're coming
Okay.
we have
down
the signs that we
And-
did last year for it.
And we are also going to ask, once we get the grant, ask for people's input into what
That's right.
we're going to do.
We were planning on public meetings
Right.
to
So we're not
talk
going to
about
take
the
the money and they're
design.
going to see new signs without
Right.
the town coming
There's
together
gonna be
and having input.
meetings, yep.
And the trail upgrading is not costing anything?
It may cost us some material costs
Right.
within Public Works, but we've done a little bit of work on one of the trails, right? The one between Snowsbrook Road and they did some work. But that's the kind of work, we're not talking about big improvements.
This is,
We're just
you know, running
talking
a
about
grader over some of the stuff.
regrading it, yeah.
Regrading it, not adding.
So yeah, there
materials,
will
not
be
paving
some,
anything.
there'll be some costs that we'll assume in the buildings and grounds budget for materials, but it'll be done by our staff and the mountain staff.
Do we have something that shows people what this is going to look like
Yeah.
at the end?
Yes,
We don't have a real.
not a
thing.
not a
The
streetscape
point-
of
The
it,
point
no.
we're trying to make, that's going to be made at the meeting, is that if we get this grant, then we will go into a phase, a community phase of seeing what we want to do with the money and how we're going to spend it. These are the ideas we've come up with so far, but if you'd like to amend these ideas or change them, we look for your input.
But because we've been down this road once,
Right.
what I'm
But it was-
concerned about is that people are gonna say, we voted this down last year.
No, we
Why isn't
approved it
that?"
last
No, we
year.
approved it last year.
We
Approved it
approved
by
it, but we didn't get
63
the
to-
grant.
we
didn't
get the grant.
That's why,
Yes.
But I think that people need to understand that part of what is being planned is a new bikeway out of town.
I don't think
No,
there
no,
is a
that's
new
the
road.
tap.
That's
That's
the
the
problem.
tap
And
grant.
When I read this,
Different-
it's
that's a
just
different grant.
signs.
This
is-
This is
signs?
just signs.
This
This
is
is-
separate from the TAP grant.
Right.
Oh,
The TAP
okay.
grant
Right.
was the improvements,
right, the
the
top
big
grant was
improvements to the,
$850,000.
right, to the trail system. This was
Yeah.
the first grant that was just signage. And a lot of the signage is the wayfinding signs, pointing people to hotels, pointing people to restaurants, and standardizing those
Yeah,
the
now
way we
they
want.
anticipate replacing all of the current wayfaring signs that are on the main roads?
Yeah,
as part of this
there's
grant?
one at Valley Road in Tecumseh, Snowsbrook Road in Tecumseh, Valley Road in Packard's Road, Valley Road in Village, and Snowsbrook in Boulder Path. So it's all the
Valley Road,
major,
Village Road. Okay,
it's all the major intersections.
all right, yeah, okay. So it's at major intersections, okay.
And we would have
Fine.
standardized signs that are on public property in the right of way.
Right,
Which will also set a standard for people coming
That's
in to change, upgrade a sign or change it, would have to adhere to the new sign.
well, we haven't done it yet. We are anticipating changing the zoning, and the
Right.
way we're going to change, with the proposed way to change the zoning on public rights of way, on directional signs, is essentially to say, look, this is town property. So the selectmen, this is totally at the discretion of the selectmen. You have no rights, to use any of that land, so if you wanna put a directional sign up, you must go get the approval of the Board of Selectmen, and that's it.
Okay.
And then we can hold them to the standard of these 6 new signs.
Absolutely.
And they'll all look the same.
Right.
That's what we're trying to
Okay.
move people towards.
Right, I think the key point is to make sure that people understand that this does really not involve new trail.
Right.
No,
It's just signage.
right.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
All right, continue, Bill? What else you got?
Well, on Article 14,
Yep,
the way it's worded right now, for the purpose of evaluating and repairing, I thought 25,000 was probably not gonna be enough to repair it. Are we leaving the impression we're gonna not only evaluate but fix this darn thing for 25 grand? Because
Well,
I'm
no.
uncomfortable, I didn't think you were comfortable you could.
I don't think we can, but I don't think it's gonna take $25,000 to
Simply
evaluate.
evaluate it.
So I wanna be able to use that money plus whatever,
Could we say begin repairing? Or something, or I know it's a
Okay,
warrant
whatever.
article, but.
yeah, whatever
and
whatever
or
wording.
maybe you could explain to people that, look, fundamentally, we'll start by evaluating, and if there's money left over,
Well,
we'll
that,
go on to repairing it.
that's what I was gonna
You
brief
know,
tonight.
but it's probably not enough money to fully complete the
That's
repairs.
right, you're right. Yep,
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Insert the word beginning or something?
No, I don't even need the beginning in there.
I'll just
Make sure
explain.
As long as it got
Yeah.
explained,
Yeah.
right.
yep, we'll talk about that
And you know what
tonight.
might happen? We will start some testing with a water table coming up, we might be finding it.
Yeah, we may be,
I'm
but who
nervous
knows?
I'm
about
hearing
that,
these
though.
stories from California about stuff.
Yeah, no, I know.
All right,
So can I just highlight one thing, the highlighted articles, 13, 15, and 16. In the past, in the big warrant article, Article 24, we have always had a capital outlay line item in there.
Right.
Those 3 articles are articles that usually show up in the capital outlay line in the combined budget. Because in the past, they have been considered operating costs, right? The replacement of vehicles and that sort of
Right.
thing. We are not voting on the lease agreements again. All
Right.
we're voting on is the funding. So can we
Right.
take those 3 and move them into a capital outlay, combine them on the
Well, I was
final
gonna
warrant?
suggest why don't you combine 15 through 21?
We can't do that because the capital reserves have to be their own.
Right,
part of
but
it.
couldn't you do the larger amount and then say it's to be sent to the following specific funds and list the funds? I'm just concerned about the length of the time it's gonna take to vote all
No,
these.
I understand. I will ask DRA, but I don't think they're gonna let
If
us.
we can, do it that way, now we run a risk that if they turn it down, they turn everything down.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any chance they
No,
turn it down.
I agree. I can ask, but again, I don't know
Okay.
that they're gonna, I will do that if they will
Yeah.
allow us to.
Okay,
But if I can just take 13, 15, and 16
sure,
and put them in 24, that would be great.
yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
All right.
And Article 25,
Yeah,
I understand it's what they signed, but I have no clue what the heck that actually said. And it was somehow, we're gonna have to be able to, here's what the new ordinance will look like.
okay, we will print,
If you approve this, here's what the ordinance is
we'll
now
print
gonna
it.
read. I mean,
We'll
because-
print it out, right? We can, they,
That one says old, new.
yeah.
Yeah, right, that's what we're
So,
gonna need all of
so
the-
they are literally removing 3 words from the existing ordinance.
Right.
And those are verbal.
And, do you have a copy of that 3?
I thought it was just the /or.
Well,
they
it,
took
it
out.
it ended up being 3 words.
The dog ordinance.
Yeah,
itself?
the dog ordinance, the little 3 pamphlet, 3-fold.
Right, okay. that's
But I'll
all right.
show you the
Yeah.
words.
I don't
Now,
think-
the other question that I do have is, are we required by law to put this article in this position?
No, you can put it anywhere you want.
Well, when do you want to,
Well, that's my question. I put it at the end because I didn't know if you wanted to
well, they're
have
gonna be
them
anxious.
exhausted by the time they get there,
Well, at the
or
end, it's gonna be a private ballot, right?
it's gonna be a secret ballot.
That's
Yeah.
the,
So it's gonna take 45 minutes.
No, it doesn't have to be open an hour. It's just
Well,
until the
it's just for a
moderator,
bond.
that's just for a bond issue.
I'm afraid that what's going to happen is if you get the, and I don't know, but don't we run a risk that
Yes.
half the people are going to bail out
Right.
before we ever get to
Right.
Article
Do you-
25?
Okay, if, do you want it,
Like
And then
happened
the
the last
people,
time.
right, the
Do you-
people
Who
who really want a
it
damn
are gonna be
dog
there.
are
do
going to
you
be
want it
there.
to
That's a really
be,
good
do
point.
you want it to be Article 11? I'll put it right at the
I
front.
think
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I think we
Yeah,
ought to
move
just
it up.
Yes.
bludgeon right into that
Yeah.
because,
Okay.
there's no sense debating, the others we ought to be able to vote on pretty quickly.
Okay,
But this is the one that they all have some interest in,
Yeah,
yeah,
or at least some people do.
okay.
that's a great idea.
Okay.
So we'll move it.
All right. Margaret, anything else on?
No.
All right. Bill, all set with?
No, I'm all set,
All
yeah,
right,
that was it.
We will move to, let's talk more about dogs today. The town council recommendation on the dog order.
Well, this is, yeah,
Ordinance.
yeah, no, this is what he recommends, and
Okay.
I don't, well,
Did he send well, they've signed this warrant article,
yes.
right?
We cannot change, what he did was he took the actual petition and he turned it into Article 25. So that came from town council, that's his recommendation. So
And
if,
they've now affixed their signatures to this.
yes, and they, thank you.
And we verified the petition.
That we verified the signatures on the petition, the town clerk
It's
verified
the
that.
use of the double negative in here that throws me. In this ordinance, at large means not under the control.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that means, but.
So they removed, or by means,
Oh,
these 3 words.
or by means
Or by
of.
means. So it says attention and, oh, I'm sorry,
They
or
removed
by
attention.
means of. So they took out these 4 words. It says attention and physical restraint. So it's, both things are now required.
Can I see that?
That means no one can tie their dogs up at Jugtown.
Right. And now you can't throw the ball at Packard's Field anymore because the dog has to be physically restrained,
Well, I think that should be mentioned.
right?
There are a lot of things that need to be mentioned.
Yeah, well, am I gonna be able to watch this in my hotel?
No.
This is not online?
We just record it. We have not put it online in the past.
You're not gonna be here?
No.
Oh,
Just the two of you, you're gonna have to take them
Yeah.
all on, Margaret.
And what did they take out?
Or by means
Or
of.
by means of.
I don't understand the difference now.
I don't understand, yeah, I don't understand what they did.
Because before it was or.
And or.
So you could.
And or.
Yeah, I
or.
understand the
And
and
or.
or,
So
but
now they have
it's,
taken
it's,
out or by means of, so it
So
says
now it-
and physical,
They have to be,
so,
you have to be present and you
And-
have to have your dog physically restrained.
That's
And,
I
it's
don't
not
know,
an or
but this
anymore.
is, because of the way this is worded, you know, well, I have to think about it. All right.
By the people in 1987.
So it says, at large. At large means not under control of the owner, by means of personal attention and by means. Oh, so it's now gonna read and by means of physical restraint.
that's right,
Throughout the town.
throughout the
everywhere.
town, anywhere that the
Yes,
town
well,
attorney,
the current one is written that way.
except for private property, any
Doesn't
place
say
that the
that.
public, well, no, that, the
It's in
town
front.
attorney said that that's the effect of this, is anywhere that the public has access to, which will include Packard's Field, around the pond, town square, the beach, everywhere, you must be physically present with your dog and have it restrained, both.
But not on private property.
But not on private property. But any of our sidewalks, any of our roadways, any of the trail system, this is going to extend into the national forest,
Well,
right,
I
Dave?
can't, no, then we'll have to check. I thought the National Forest had its own rule relative to dog control. I can't believe our law would supersede theirs.
It does.
It does.
Unless there's
Really?
Unless there's a federal officer to enforce their federal law, if we're present, it's still an ordinance within the town boundaries. So whether it's.
And we can write an ordinance that
Yes.
supersedes federal law?
Yes, in this case, we can.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't
Mr. Trump's gonna-
supersede that.
It doesn't
This-
supersede it.
I'm just wondering if he's gonna send the feds in to patrol the dog
Yeah.
area out in the national forest
It's
now.
the same thing with the marijuana laws.
Right.
Feds don't.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
It's illegal.
So,
It's
so
federal.
one of the things everybody should understand is that if this goes into effect, you'll see a lot more poop on the sidewalks and on the trails than you see now.
Yeah.
Well, my
Probably right.
contention is I get back that changing this rule may make people feel better, but I don't understand how it's gonna change anything.
It's going to
Because-
make them very,
Well, I
busy when
mean,
the dogs.
you're gonna get,
Probably.
other than your life is gonna be miserable because you're gonna get phone calls from people like my wife, the handful of permanent residents that complain.
We'll make them the dog control officer.
Well, maybe, yeah, right, maybe we ought to have some voluntary dog control officers. Jesus.
I know it's been brought up before, when this came up before, but it's, the impression of the visitors to town who might not be familiar with this ordinance are gonna create interactions with us.
Right.
Regardless of whether, they could be walking their dogs just not on the leash and could be totally in control of those dogs, but we're still gonna pull over and have a conversation with that ordinance will be.
And.
David, we had 20 in 2016, I think, and
We
we're,
did, and that was total, that's everything from
Missing dog too?
missing dogs also, so.
and were most of those belonging to full-time residents, or were most of them visiting dogs?
That I don't know. I could look into that for you, but I don't know offhand.
I don't.
I know one of them was.
All right.
I don't wanna say it's an overwhelming majority either way, so.
Okay. Well, if we've reached our saturation point on this. that's- All right, privilege of floor number 2. Doesn't look like anything. Board concerns and directives.
I just gave you a couple of things in your packet that Bill had asked questions. I provided some feedback in
Yep,
the,
I'm fine with the.
Okay, good.
The explanation, the lights, I'm okay with.
Okay, so.
So Reggie is gonna go talk to the library trustees
Well, we'll talk to Reggie when she gets back. She's out in Utah, so we'll talk to her and,
Because they're
Yeah.
on the warpath.
understood.
Really?
Ah.
All right, I'm just.
They think they own the library, they think they own the library.
All right.
As far as I know, they do own the library.
Well,
Well,
they're-
apparently nobody talked to them.
They're responsible for it. I don't know that they own it, but.
Okay, so the question on the proposed treatment plant generator, that was the coordination building.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Okay,
that.
great, the library trustees is being dealt with by Reggie. Do we have anything, for non-public?
I just, no, I did want to just ask if everyone was okay with the letter while Chris is here, the letter that we sent Chip Roper.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because there is an appeal process
Right.
if you had an issue.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's a correct interpretation,
Okay.
other than if they began to run it so that it resembled a boarding house.
Right.
Then they're in, I mean, this would be the kind of thing, they'd have to pick 3 families with these people, they divide the costs up for the year.
Right.
These were the only families that lived there. They couldn't have, transients, well, this kid will come for a month and
Right.
he'll pay money and,
Yeah.
you know, I have a couple
I
of
don't
things
have
that
any
I've
problem.
rented that are existed in the community without a complaint.
Right.
We have a very liberal interpretation of what is a family in this
Yes.
town.
Yes, we do.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
which is good, because we don't have to change anything. I mean, pretty much, if you and I could form a family, right?
Actually, the 3.
Actually, the 10 of us could. Yeah.
All right, I have a question.
I have an answer, maybe.
Have we decided who we're dedicating the annual report to? Did I miss that?
We did have some names
Okay,
that we had thrown out. I can talk to you about them.
okay. All right,
And we also had this correspondence from Jan Stearns where she was concerned about hockey program.
Yeah, she just said she had seen that on the Topics website, and I now have a blog, and she's gonna write stuff. I gave her some information, and she was gonna put it on her blog. It was just a rumor that was on, and I didn't know if you had any problem with us responding to it,
No.
or?
Nice, well, yeah, no,
Okay,
but it's, topics is, I mean, why waste your time? Whatever's on topics is by definition wrong.
okay.
Oh, it is.
So that's what kind of where I was going with this. I wasn't sure if you could say anything about it.
Come on
So,
in.
Okay, good.
All right.
We
So-
still have a lease with somebody, they're
We do.
still
Yes, we
paying
do.
their
It's the
taxes.
It's the Hockey Academy, and
Yeah.
yes, they are paying their
All right,
taxes.
well, if there's nothing else for this section, should we make a motion to adjourn and come back in a few minutes and do our budget hearing?
So moved.
So moved.
Done. So we're
Right.
out at 6:50.
Good.
Any food?
These are the slides for
Download
update.